Hi there, can you hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you.
Can you see me?
Yeah.
Yes, we can see.
Perfect. Again, thank you all for having me. For those of you who were here yesterday, I have changed this presentation a little bit. Firstly, happy birthday, Java, 26 years this week. And I have some fantastic pictures from the Voxed Istanbul event 4 years ago with Ilka. So I would like to get a free t-shirt, please. So just a quick one about Sonatype. So we're the key sponsor, well, one of the key sponsors for this event this year. It is a pleasure. If any of you did not see our presentation yesterday, we can share that with you. For those of you who don't know Sonatype, we are a very community-focused DevSecOps company. So we founded the Nexus repository and the Nexus bunch of products. We also host the DevSecOps leadership forums, so a series of roundtables, forums, summits. We do these globally. We had one in Turkey last year. We've had some very good speakers on those. And we also run the largest all-day DevOps conference. So over 30,000 people registered last year, which was amazing. And the all-day DevOps conference runs over 24 hours. We have lots of different tracks, different speakers. So if any of you as people in the community would like to speak this year, we currently have the call for papers open for October the 28th. If you don't know Sonotype, so we were founded by a man called Brian Fox. So 20 years ago, he was chair of Maven. He was a direct contributor into the Maven ecosystem, which is obviously one of the largest ecosystems for the Java components and language. And he then founded Sonatype. So we have access to see what Java components are being downloaded, intelligence into that Maven repository at the moment. We do a lot within Turkey, so we have some good partners in Turkey. We have a lot of good Turkish customers, and I hope that the next time for next year that I can come in person and see you all again. As we know, it's been a crazy year. However, software is still growing. This is the Java component releases over the last kind of 8 years. So as you can see, in 2012, 25 billion downloads. Now we're at 345. So open source and third-party code is only growing. And ever since 2009, when Etsy shared the fact that they were doing 10 deploys a day, every single developer is trying to catch up now, right? Every developer is trying to release at quick speeds, to innovate as quickly as the companies can. And obviously, that's great until you have only one security person managing it. So as you know, you will have a team of developers. You might have 10 operations people, project managers, 2 developers, and then you have one security person. So how does one security person actually manage what the developers are building, but allow you to stay happy and to keep doing that? 2021 is definitely the year of the software supply chain hacks. So we've seen so much, especially since the start of this year, where I don't know if any of you saw the dependency confusion hack, but there was an ethical hacker, Alex Bursan, who hacked into Apple, Microsoft, Netflix, some of the huge enterprises that are obviously all built from software. He did that and he found, I think it was over 5,000 components that had been name matched. So where those companies didn't have binary fingerprinting, they were just looking at name-based matching. He got into those. So there's some good stories around that. We've just seen the US president announce that all companies that relate with the government, which could be banks, it could be retailers, it could be many different industries, now need to provide how they build software and a software bill of materials. So we saw at the end of 2019, all of the Turkish banks started following suit with the regulations. So banks bought the regulatory board bought articles in saying that banks now have to declare software bill of materials. $48 million worth of fines during 2020 because people hadn't complied with those regulations. And these were the main parts around it. And throughout that, the main point is just security teams understanding what is in, what you're building in, what components you're bringing in. So what is a software bill of materials? All of you as developers will obviously know. The analysts are now actually stating that every enterprise should have a software bill of materials by 2024, and that will be coming into companies' audits. So that's all great, right? That's fantastic. That's great if you're a security manager and you're measuring the risk, but how does that help or worry you as a developer? The enterprises are obviously looking at all the different tech stacks, the tools they use, the processes that they have in place. And at the end of the day, as a developer, that's your daily work, and you need it to be as streamlined and pain-free as possible. So it's great that all of these enterprises, companies want to get to the self-service stage of the DevOps model, but who's actually responsible for that? Everybody looks at security, but it's actually not. So if you look at where we are at the moment, where developers are using version control, and actually the end goal where companies want to get, everything should be automated, but developers play a key part within that. And if you're using manual processes, that's just not scalable. So I appreciate as developers, you'll use the tools and processes. Well, as developers, none of us use the proper tools and processes, but there are ways that we can automate, not necessarily working with the tools that the security teams are suggesting. So at Sonatype, we want to help developers align with security, align with legal, and align with ops. And if all of them can work together, then when we're working on huge digital transformation projects, obviously we want every department, whether it is developer, security, legal, to reduce as much time as possible on the actual tools. And at the end of the day, we all have the same goal. So how do we help each other? So developers can bring component intelligence into daily workflows. You can integrate tools early and every stage of the CI/CD so that you are working around compatibility with the rest of the tools. And obviously choosing the best components at the start. So the whole shifting left that a lot of companies talk about now. So make sure that you're vetting the components against your company open source policy and have real-time insight so you know what to include and exclude in those applications. And make sure that you can help the ops team fix the issues before failing a build. So it's no fun when we get feedback loops, we get Jira tickets all coming back because there's one broken element. So fix that before, have an approved version that is sent to the security, to the ops team. Make sure you're using native tools that actually integrate within all of the IDEs. In this day and age, all companies are trying to work together. There's no reason why plugins and tools shouldn't work together. And then from a security side, obviously all security care about is that they're mitigating risk, that they can see and have transparency on what's in the tools. So finding potential violations before they enter production. But with continuous monitoring, you can obviously make sure that firstly, no vulnerable components are being ingested into the CI/CD, but also if a component grows old or something changes within that, the policy will notify the developers and the team so they can fix it straight away. You don't need to do it manually, it will all be done automatically. And then from the legal side, it's becoming more and more frequent, that lawyers are now asking to understand what's in the open source, so to make sure that they're complying with license regulations, they're avoiding copyright infringement from third-party code. And with that software bill of materials, they have a full dashboard showing component intelligence. They have extensive insights on what's really in that licenses and a single dashboard for everything. And then so by using proper tools and helping automate, so again, you're the developers, you're right at the start of the process. So letting the project teams understand what's actually in the IDE for real-time insights, complying with policy. Ops can then streamline, build, release, reduce feedback loops, and show senior management metrics around mean time to recovery, which helps all of us at the end of the day. So Sonotype as a company, we have many different free tools to help developers. We have paid tools to help security. But the main point is that you should be able to manage your software development lifecycle from start to finish. So from the code you're writing in the source code management piece, GitHub, GitLab, Bitbucket, whatever, straight through to open source, so understanding what you're pulling in from the repository and what components are sat in there. Infrastructure as code, so obviously everyone cloud native is the big thing at the moment, so actually making sure what you provision to the cloud is safe. And obviously containers are huge at the moment, whether it's code that you're packaging for your own company or whether you're building those containers to deploy in a company. So lots of free tools. That is the point of us with developers. We're hugely about the community and making sure building software is as easy as possible. So there's a bunch of links in here around making sure you can see safe components. We work with MuseDev around the quality and continuous assurance for source code, so you can analyze all the pull requests before that is going into your software. Lots of plugins, again, all free technologies. So you've got the Gradle plugin, and ensuring we work with native tools. So all tools are native, so that you can work with any language. They sync in with all different CI/CD pipelines and environments. And for any of you that are interested, we have the Sonatype user conference, which is on June the 17th. Again, massive community conference. We usually have about 3,000 people attend that could be Sonatype customers or could use our free tools, etc. And that will have, it's definitely worth checking out because there's a lot of developer workshops, conferences, hackathons, so just a bit of fun rather than the conferences that we're getting fatigued with at the moment. And so on that, I will hand back to the team. So thank you very, very much.